What up, people? It's Nickopz here. Today, I want to talk about Combat Pack 3. Now, I feel like this has been a topic discussed amongst, people a lot as of late, and it's always going to be until we get, some type of confirmation or new game comes out. It's going to be discussed a lot, and I just want to give my take on it personally because even though I feel like a lot of people are discussing it, I feel like the answer is kind of right in front of our face, but it's not at the same time. It's a lot. It's very convoluted. Now, let me show you why I wanted to talk about this because we do know we are confirmed getting future content for sure. Now, I didn't want to make a video on this because so many of the comments were actually really annoying to me, but Boon made this tweet a while ago, like 2 weeks ago. He said, okay, today, which four fighters do you feel need the most love in Mortal Kombat 1? Just four. Now, this was really disappointing to read because a lot of people, game developers always talk about how they don't go off of player criticism because people are very self-absorbed. And the comments to this proved so much. There were so many people just saying stuff for their own character instead of talking about what would actually help the game and the characters that actually need love. But yeah, this was disappointing. I was gonna make a video on this, but I decided not to because it was just so disappointing to see. Like, he's actually trying to put something out there for the community, and the community was just being self-absorbed and annoying. So, but that's besides the point. The fact that he said this means that we are going to get another patch for sure. And he even elaborated on this because there was somebody else that put this with this meme here. What kind of love are you talking about here, basically? And then Boone said, buffs, more combos, skins, gear, anything to make them more fun to play and compete with. So, with that being said, that tells us that we are going to get another patch. So the game is not in its final state, which is very good. But that got me to thinking, because if the game is not in its final state as of now, there has to be a reason for that. Because what I realized about companies in general, they don't do stuff for no reason. And if we are getting future patches, it's because something is planned for the game. Because in case y'all don't know, when NRS releases a new game, like, it's it. Like, the past games don't get patched anymore, as per usual. That's a usual thing. I just don't get why NRS in particular does it, because I don't see the problem with them being able to keep two of their games alive and competitive with patches. Like, I don't see why they can't patch Injustice and, their current Mortal Kombat game at the same time. I don't see why they can't do it, but they won't. So whenever, it's announced that we're getting new patches, this, that, and the other, that means that something else is coming. So that's why that's why I wanted to make this video to talk about, do I think we're going to get a Combat Pack 3? And my honest answer to that is I feel like it's in the middle. If you don't know, basically, we were confirmed to get Combat Pack 3. Now, this is rumors, you know how that goes, so take this with a grain of salt. But apparently, Combat Pack 2, well, what's it called? The DLC with Havoc, Titan Havoc, sold so bad that it got canceled. But that was the rumor, that it was confirmed, but it got canceled because that sold terribly, which is no one's fault but their own, because they could have made much more changes to the game. And even though the characters that they brought in were cool, the story was a joke, and they did not add a lot of new features to make up for the lack of features from the initial launch. While I do feel like this game is in an amazing state right now, casual and comp-wise, it's actually the best fighter out right now, the best modern fighter. Out of the big three, Tekken and Street Fighter, Street Fighter has been terribly stagnant. And while that game is naturally a better game as a complete package, gameplay-wise, Mortal Kombat is blowing Tekken and Street Fighter out of the water right now. It just is. Tekken is in a very volatile state, and Street Fighter is in a very boring, stagnant state. Now, while those games bring more as a complete package of what you can do in those games. I'm talking about strictly gameplay. Gameplay, Mortal Kombat they got them beat right now, easily. It's not even close. With that being said, let's get back to the topic at hand. I feel like the chances of us getting Kombat Pack 3 is in the middle. I really do. I don't see us getting it confirmed for sure. And I don't see it being completely out of the window, because if we are getting more patches for this game, that's for a reason. It has to be for a reason. And I do feel like we should get it. I feel like Mortal Kombat unfairly gets judged compared to its peers. Because the thing about Mortal Kombat is it usually doesn't get a lot of time in development with the game being released. And what I mean by that is, a lot of these games, fighting games, start off bad usually, and then they usually become good. But Mortal Kombat, with its 2-year life cycle, never really gets the chance. And we're seeing now with what they're doing with this game that they can make it better. And it is getting better. Little by little, very, very little by little, but it is getting better. With that being said, I feel like that this game deserves an actual chance. I don't want to see this game just be given up on, like as per usual, and they just move on, because they said themselves that they wanted this game to last. This is not something I'm saying. I agree with that they should try it, but they wanted this game to last 4 years. They said this with MK11, and then they said they wanted this game to last even longer. They didn't do it with MK11. Now, MK11 had a whole bunch of, stuff going on with it, and it had the COVID stuff, so whatever about that one. But this game, I feel like this game has an actual fighting chance. And the game is making its comeback. I don't know if you know right now, but I made a video talking about it. This is currently the most played fighting game in the world. People will try to convince you that it's not, but it is. Like, facts. It's not Steam chart based. I know some people try to go get Steam charts numbers, which carries less than 1% of the player base for gaming in general. Some people will try to go get Steam charts and try to be like, oh, this game's not getting played. But no, Steam charts don't matter in the long run for fighting games, for the most part. But the fact of the matter is, this game is actually very popular right now, and it's making its comeback. And I feel like, with that being said, if they decide to, take a chance on it, because it would be them taking a chance after the low sales of, Chaos Reigns. That's the name. After the low sales of Chaos Reigns, it would be them taking a chance, but I feel like it would be worth it, because they need to see, can they create a game that has the type of longevity as a Street Fighter or a Tekken and still make the same money. Because if they can do that, then there's no reason for them not to do it. But the reason they don't do that is because, it's been shown that if a Mortal Kombat gets released, it's gonna fail. But it hasn't been shown, can they keep the game alive and still keep the same profits. So I think, like I said, it's a 50-50 chance. I think if we're going to get it or not. And that's solely because, why we wouldn't, it's because Chaos Reigns didn't do so well, even though the game's making a comeback now. And why we would get it is because Ed Boon has confirmed that we are getting content in the future. So we don't know what it is specifically, but we do know we're getting something. So that's why I feel like that could lead to that. And if we do, I think it would be great. And if y'all want me to make a video on who I personally think they should add for Kombat Pack 3, I will do that. But I think it's in the middle chance we're going to get it. If you would have asked me like a month ago, are we going to get it? I would have been like, absolutely not. There's no way. But with this being confirmed that this isn't the final patch of the game, I think there is a chance. So that's my take on it. Let me know your take on it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, all that good stuff. And Nickopz out.